everybody. I want to thank ELITS for giving us an opportunity to share the ideas. And it was amazing listening to all the speakers since the morning. So my topic, maybe which I've selected, is Smart City 2020 and beyond. And facing the transportation challenge. You see, transportation is a very complex topic. And at 8 o'clock in the fag end of the session, I'll just try to flag the key issues in the shortest possible time and the simplest possible manner. Because once again, it's a very complex topic. See what happens by 2050. I'll rush through it and cut out most of it. By 2050, the urban population is going to increase by up to 70%. And the urban areas are likely to increase, get multiplier factor of 3x. And the 75% of infrastructure that is needed is still not built. And that is why the smart city thing is very important, and we must begin with the government perspective. See, the transportation is so important, and all the 4 pillars of comprehensive development system, that is social, institutional, physical, and economic, which is fixed by a steel frame of governance, smart technology, and information technology, is spanned by transportation. Even in the core infrastructure, flagged by Ministry of Urban Development, efficient urban mobility and public transport, connected by robust IT connectivity, is a key factor. Not to mention the mission. The mission will only be achieved through this, leading to inclusive cities. A city challenge is ongoing. The present status is that as per the condition precedent, the interdepartmental task force has been constituted and the evaluation is ongoing. And in the morning I learned that probably today is the last day for registration of the smart cities. So what's happening? The city challenge is ongoing, the stage is set, the competition among cities is hotting up, time is very short, subject is very complex, and what are those urban people in the urban sector going to do? Nobody knows. So let us begin from the beginning. See, what I have tried to do, that there's a scheme that has been floated by Ministry of Urban Development. I have tried to put it together in such a format that it starts to work. So the first scheme that they have floated covers 50 acres, which is replacement of the existing built up, which talks about mixed land use, higher densities, higher FARs, higher ground coverage, smart technologies, and on top of it, citizen consultation. And for redevelopment, Singapore is a very good example, which talks about 8 to 10% FAR. The second project is Greenfield Development, which is covering 250 acres, which is located around cities for accommodating the expanding populations, which is likely to have innovative planning, planned financing, and other implementation factor. I'll skip the rest and go to the second slide on the same thing. So now what happens? 250 acres is not a very big area. So this is a slide of a project which I had done in Mohali, which is 800 by 1200 meter, which is equivalent to a sector, which is about 100 hectare, 250 acres. So this will help us understand the scaling. So the 50-acre project will be about 1/5 of this. And if you see the plan of this, there's a blue line, that is a transport line, which I want to emphasize. So next is the 500 acres, which will be a retrofitting project, which will be about double or 2 sectors of Chandigarh, which will have a quick turnout, smart technology, citizen consultation, and which will be replicable. These are 2 of the projects we handled in Delhi. One is an industrial project, and one is the retrofitting of an unauthorized colony. Just to give you an idea that what we would be looking at. This will be a slightly easier project. So for the cities, like I would like to suggest to those corporators who don't have too much assets, maybe this is an easier way out. So that was for a site, and this is for a building, retrofitting, a school project we did in Delhi. Now, what is the first and foremost thing which the corporators will have to do once they start the smart city project? Here their cities have been submitted for selection. At the site, they must start selecting the land. Now, the problem which I see is that municipal corporations are not the ideal development departments. They have more experience in actually doing the running of the city or only creating services infrastructure. So what are they going to do? First of all, if they have to select the land, see, I have made it in two colors. The white color is the selection criteria for the land in the past. The blue is the selection criteria for the current Indian scenario, in which what has been added, multi-crop land is a no-no, because under the Land Acquisition Act that has been debarred. Availability of quality water, I heard one of the key speakers speaking about with, I agree with him thoroughly. Then connectivity factor, fiber corridor is important, major MRTS corridor is important, near fresh fruit and milk supply, major educational institutes, and near a mother city. Because remember, 250 acres is not a very large amount. So that will take us to the smart city. Now this is from the website of Ministry of Urban Development, that the growth story of India would be written on the canvas of planned urban development and shall be scripted through the instrument of planned mobility. So the Ministry of Urban Development has flagged 8 design factors, out of which factor 3 and factor 5 relate to urban mobility or transportation. So I'm skipping that, you can read that policy, but these 4 factors are important: variety, TOD, public transport, and last mile connectivity. So which brings us to the challenge in the transportation. First and foremost is high cost of public transport, last mile connectivity, TOD, denser road network which is required by TOD, and catering to various transport options. So this is also a challenge, hassle, because it is the poorer people who need public transport, and motorization where number of vehicles is an issue, and transport and spatial development, horizontal and vertical integration. And the biggest challenge is the car culture. See, what happens by the car culture results in an urban sprawl. This is a picture of Mexico. This happens because we have been actively following a Western model of urbanization in which the different land uses are located far away from each other, which is not detrimental to cycling and walking, and what we end up is with a lot of road. We must learn from the lessons of the past. This is a screenshot of an area of land pooling area of Delhi, which says that earlier our living areas were placed very close to each other because it was easy, walkable distances to the field. This is the second lesson from the past. This is again a picture from Delhi, where density and climate was the first and foremost thing to design a city. And third is pedestrianization and climate. Recently, DDA, through the Ministry of Urban Development, has notified it transit-oriented development. And in the metro, Delhi Metro, we are trying to redesign our sites, properties according to this. And this is nothing more, is a learning from the past, which talks about 2,000 persons per hectare of high density, which is possible because of higher buildings, 4 FAR, bigger footprint, 40% minimum, and smaller DU size. Not to mention a mixed-use development of residential commercial facilities. See what used to happen earlier. These usages were located on different parcels of land. Now these usages under TOD will be in the same building. And yes, we are talking about TDR, amalgamation and reconstitution, displacement accommodation on the same site, and accommodation reservation for social infrastructure, which are again very important urban concepts. Now we were in transportation, we are talking about pedestrianization. So that would be possible because every person, see what's happening in transportation now, the barrier between ownership and transportation is breaking. So 20% of the individual's land will be made available for the roads and 20% for the common greens. This is the second concept of land pooling coming in Delhi, which is also talking about very high FAR. I'll skip that. So this is a case study of London explaining the same point, in which we see that the city center, through the colors, that the city center is bikeable, walkable, the central core is through public transportation, and the last part of the area is through private transportation. Then is the Masdar city, a mixed land use development, in which they are having a multimodal public transport through bus, group rapid transport, personal rapid transit, and rail transit. So this will be an interesting section, and how they have managed. Similarly, Yokohama, which we were sent by the Delhi government, is actually showing seamless stitching of city access through different transportation systems and access systems. Informative maps, instructive graphics, and seamless transportation. So here we come at a very important concept. Like when I was making this presentation, my son told me that whatever you are doing is only totally governmental. You are not looking at the current generation, and you are not looking at the quantum leap with the transportation is taking place. So in this, we are talking about the shared assets in which urban logistics like freight, POS, waste collection is very important. Vehicle ownership or more or less is breaking down, more smarter, accessible, shared, sustainable, economically productive, democratized. Sharing of the expensive things like car sharing, bike sharing, carpooling, taxi services, and future of transport industry lies in growth in developing countries. So I'll skip rest of it, but this is important. Transportation network companies like TNC, Uber, Lyft, Ola, BlaBla, Car, etc. And Uber is a good example which serves the more undeserved areas, low-income areas, aims to provide quick service, and which increases the fleet where there is demand, like on a rainy day or when the offices are letting off. So conclusion. So in India, 100 smart cities are coming up and 200 in China. That is likely to be a $322 billion industry. So it makes sense to be in this field of smart city. Now the route that has been laid down by Ministry of Urban Development is through empanelment or self-selected consultant or a hand-holding agency, financial agency. And this is the funding pattern, that Government of India will be giving 100 crore per year for 5 years, which is 500 crore. State would be putting up 500 crore, which is total 1,000 crore. A private JV partner will be putting in 1,000 crore, which makes a seed money of 2,000 crore. And financial institutions are likely to put in another 10,000 crore, which leads to 12,000 crore. So this multiplied by 100 is what we get. So now what happens? What will be the challenge for the corporators? The challenge will be that transportation is two factors are most expensive in the entire scenario. First is land, second is transportation. So it would make sense to take both as your JV partners, because that you get free of cost. One more thing can be done is land is mostly held in the hands of the urban development authorities. So maybe you can take them also as a JV partner, because corporation staff is not ideally fit to handle urban development. They are more into managing it. But there's a catch in it. If they take an urban development authority as a partner, then the owners to do the maximum funding will fall on the city. The centers share, the states share, and the authorities share. And secondly, there's a pan-city element also. I would suggest, like there were many people were saying that, okay, maybe IT can be pan-city component, but I have a feeling that transportation should be pan-city idea, because if the smart city has its own transportation and it is not connected to the mother city, it does not make sense. So, key factors, design factors then come to it is that transportation should be regional, it should be jointly worked out by urban planners and transport planners, we must leverage TOD, and we must use land as a resource. Government should provide incentive and policy to attract private sector resources. It should be investor friendly, and they should do structure financial modeling so that they can attract private partner. And the public participation should be from the start. And each city should have its own solution.